Okay, good afternoon, and welcome in the second workshops. I remember to all connected online people to connect to different breakout rooms. Here is the second workshop on remote working and digital skills for new jobs. The other in other breakout rooms is in the second breakout rooms about best practice and digital tools for energy transition, but in another room. Okay, we can start. I give the voice to Mauro Casotto from Trentino Sviluppo.
Thank you, Rocco. Good afternoon, and I am Mauro Casotto. I'm co-leader of Action Group 3, and I'm pleased to take the greetings of all the Action Group 3 and of our leader, that is Giuliana Cristoforetti. The title of the workshop, Remote Working and Digital Skills for New Mountain Jobs, represent the merging point of the work of our Action Group, number 3 and number 5. As you know, Action Group 5 is focused on connectivity and accessibility, and Action Group 3 is focused on mountain jobs, labor market, education and training. Starting from different perspectives, the two groups arrive in a meeting point that is the workshop of tomorrow and the activity that are, of course, enabled by digitalization, information technology, and artificial intelligence. I'd like to give you a brief description of the activity of Action Group 3. In the past 3 years, we worked a lot on dual training and on digital and soft skills. Of course, everything regards to the mountain activity, to the mountain shops, like timber, forestry, agriculture, agri-food, and also, of course, tourism. Last year, we also signed an agreement that define how the dual training, a common way of doing dual training, and also to recognize among the regions the title of dual training. We also conducted an important research with the Institute of Economic and Social Research of Friuli Venezia Giulia about soft skills and digital skills for alpine jobs. In the next 3 years, our cross-cutting priorities will be on, of course, the experimentation of dual training and implementation of digital skills and soft skills. Now we have the possibility with this workshop to hear from our panelists how the technology of information technology, of artificial intelligence and digitalization can improve our quality of life in the valley, in the mountains, and the objectives, of course, of these activities and this project is to keep and to maintain people working and living in our periphery, of course, not only in the big cities of our mountains. Of course, all these activities are addressed to young people, but also to less young people. We can think, of course, at the services of the public administration, also to the services of the sanitary system that are very important, especially for less young people. So I give the floor to Rocco that will manage the workshop, and then to the panelists.
Okay, thank you. Well, thank you for being here. Okay, we try to understand different subjects, different institutions that are organizing and developing project innovations in remote working and digital skills for new mountain jobs. So we try to organize a 2-round table. We start from online connected Maria Chiara Cattaneo. Is perfect, okay. Okay, I leave it about 6 minutes for your answer because she have a limited time. So, okay, to you.
Okay, thank you very much, and thank you for the invitation. I try to share a couple of slides I prepare for this workshop. I'm sorry not to be able to be there this afternoon in presence, but these are also the kickstart days of the Mountain 4.0 Future House project, which I want to tell you a little bit more about, as it's specific with the use of technology and the role of change as an opportunity and a game changer. The project deals with, oops, we are too far. The project is about participatory dialogue with young students and the communities and stakeholders. So it's young people and less young people. It's a project with my university in Milan and especially with Società Economica Valtellinese, which is a think tank focusing on community-based quality development for alpine areas. So the slides were going too fast, but we're meant to say basically that we are immersed in a world of rapid change, as we know, and change can mean challenges, but can also mean opportunities, also for thought remote areas, and global megatrends have local impact. We know about climate change, technology revolution, social, economic, and political changes, and in terms of technology, this participatory dialogue that we've tried to foster year after year, this last year since 2017, has been helped also by a game changer, which has been COVID, because it has also been an accelerator in terms of the possibility to use technology for us and putting together students from across the Alps. So the question has been not only, of course, to use technology by itself, but to use technology as an enabling tool to answer new questions. And basically, we put together young people and communities to answer new big questions, like how to embrace change to envision possible futures. So, for example, how to connect innovation and tradition, how to look at the changing needs of an aging society, how to face climate change in the mountains, how to look at tourism, which changes because the tourist changes and the tourist now looks for different experiences in the destination that they look for and that they choose to visit. So many questions, many solutions that can be built together, putting together students and stakeholders, because we've asked the students to work on future scenarios, develop possible solutions, send us postcards from the future, like postcards from 2040, designing possible scenarios to discuss with stakeholders and to set a roadmap to look at that possible future and try to make it desirable and reachable. And basically, Mountain 4.0 Future Alps also tries to connect communities and institutions. It is a bottom-up, but also wants to work, of course, with the institution because communities and institutions reflect one the other. So basically, we've been working since 2017 to try and make mountain a key player across the Italian Alps, because mountain has previously been considered marginal, but of course we all agree that it is not, and that can be a key player if we look at change as an opportunity. Here you can see what we've done, the sort of the story of our activities across 5 years, since 2017 till last year, across the Alps, starting from the Valtellina Valley, enlarging to the Italian Alps, from Piedmont to Friuli, and last year in bilateral dialogues between Valtellina and Trentino, all in all involving more than 1,000 students and discussing across the Alps with stakeholders and communities. This year, we are working from Valle d'Aosta to Friuli with Valtellina and Trentino, so 4 different territories with the topic of sustainable development and tourism. more than 300 students are involved to look at business ideas to face new challenges. Challenges are faced, examples are given, contributions are provided by stakeholders and experts, but students across different schools, across different territories are asked to build together new business ideas. It's like a flower, but they are asked to consider tourism trends, environment, so the impact of their new solutions with a view to economic sustainability, environmental sustainability, and also social sustainability, so the impact on people. Technology, of course, is key when we look at their new solutions for alpine development and the relationship with the local communities. So the project looks at new solutions to be designed together. So there's no right or wrong. There's no what has to be, but there is what can be as it is designed by the community, focusing on what the decision makers of tomorrow think. In that sense, the project helps develop new skills, drives towards new solutions, and also makes arise new questions. In terms of new skills, we think that through this initiative that has enlarged and has been developed thanks to partnership across the Alps, thanks to the support of many different stakeholders, we work on different skills. Digital skills, of course, because we use technology, we work in a hybrid way in schools, in community locations, but also across different territories. And we meet at some point, but we meet virtually in other occasions to work together in these labs. We also foster entrepreneurial skills to build these business ideas, and also sustainability skills, as well as soft skills like communication, collaboration, creative thinking in terms of new ideas to be developed and to work on, to face change and to find opportunities. So there are skills, but there are also questions that arise. Like yesterday, we were in Aosta with more than 100 students, and tomorrow we'll be with other 200 students in Morvenio. Yesterday, we asked the students, after many contributions taken by entrepreneurs and stakeholders, to ask their powerful questions. And they asked many different questions looking at the role of technology, like, for example, how to integrate technology and the enhancing of identity, how to go global without problems of connectivity, how to use technology without losing the impact on people. So how to connect these different issues together. So not technology by itself, but technology as an enabler, putting and keeping people at the center. So we think that this is very important if we look at the development of new ways of looking at Alpine future with the key decision makers of tomorrow. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria Chiara Cattaneo. Thank you very much. Well, okay, see you the next time. And now, welcome to Maria Grazia Monaci and Angelo Benozzo. And the question for you is, for the first round, what is your organization and what is it doing about remote working and digital skills for new mountain jobs?
Thank you very much. Good afternoon to everybody. I'm here to represent my institution, the University of Valle d'Aosta. It's not only because of its geographical collocation, the region of Valle d'Aosta, but also for its nature. It's a regional university, quite different from the normal state of the university in Italy, state university. So for both these reasons, our university has strong link with the territory. So we have many different projects now running in a connection with the territory. So mountains, tourism, and of course, digital innovation. So I had to make a choice. Among the project, and I tried to select the most connected to the topic of this afternoon conference. Actually, it was difficult. For example, we have a project now with also involving Skyway to monitor, digitally monitoring the tourist trend. But anyway, I selected others, so I'm going to necessarily quickly, to present you two of the projects, and my colleague is going to present the next one. So the first one is media. You can move already to the next slide. Media, I try to translate, is emotional digital advanced museum. It's a project involving MAV, il Museo dell'Artigianato Valdostano, so is a man craftsmanship museum. And what we have done in this project. Well, in the last years, in the last decades, museum and exhibition have greatly benefited from the advances in digital technology. So many museums are trying to add a complementary digital virtual reality experience to the traditional visit. So we have prepared a 3D visual image of most of the objects, of the handcraft object of the museum. The first reason is to enrich the catalog, of course. So we have a catalog, a new catalog on the platform with hypertext, the context of the image without the context or with the context. But second, with an app, also to create a personalized experience of the user, of the visitor to the museum. So through the app, they can choose their own personalized visit. In addition to this part, which is a kind of attempt to enrich the cultural heritage of the valley, so the part of the handcraft is quite important in the valley. One other reason is to measure, to compare the virtual experience to the real experience. So with an experiment, a real experiment is a research project. We have measured in 95 participant visitors of the museum with electroencephalograph helmets, the emotional reaction to the real experience and to the virtual experience, measuring 3 dimensions of emotional valence, arousal, and engagement. 1 minute, so go to the next one. And the next project is, of course, is coming, is, let's say, more important from the economical point of view. It has been funded by PNR, the Resistance and Resilience National Plan. The name is not coming in the slide. The name is NODES. Exactly, yeah. NODES is the meaning is Nord-Ovest, Northwest, Digital and Sustainable. Is a large project involving 7 universities in the northwest of Italy. So I am not going, no time. So we have about 7 universities. What is most important is, of course, it's a large amount of money. What is most important, the Aosta Valley University is the leader of Spoke 4 in the sometimes strange terminology of PNRR, the hub and spoke system. So we have 7 spokes, and Aosta University is leading the Spoke 4. Just the title is enough to give you an idea. Digital innovation toward sustainable mountains. It's quite a good quantity of money, 8 million euros for the Spoke. And you find the other partner of the local partner of the university. And again, with a strange terminology of PNRR, 4 flags, key aspects. The first one is advancing digital and sustainable mountain areas, enhancing the digitalization and eco-friendliness of water and energy management. So we could go also to another of a seminar of this afternoon. Promoting teleworking for increased efficiency and improve the quality of life, and fostering public engagement to stimulate local growth. A large part of the project is education and courses.
Okay, thank you. Okay, next present. Welcome to Claudia Zolla. And the same question. Is this okay? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Same question. What is your organization and what is it doing about the topic?
Yeah, Good afternoon. I work for the Unité des Communes Grand Paradis, which is a very long name for a very small public entity, actually. We focused on the previous step, which, I mean, we didn't work on giving digital skills for new jobs, but we were working on giving digital skills to people to stay in mountains areas, because we mustn't forget that if we want to keep mountainous areas alive, then we have to keep people in there and then to attract new people. So the project we worked on, I don't know if we can go on the next slide, please. Sorry. Yeah, okay. So, as I said, we were funded by the LAG Austavali, which is the local action group. And thanks to this funding, we launched this service in November. And the aim was simply helping people with acquiring digital skills to cope with administrative services. The Unité, like all the public entities, is now involved in the process of digitalization of administrative services. And this can be quite difficult for people. If you don't have digital skills, if you don't have your digital identity, if you don't know how to use technologies, then it's nearly impossible to do things with public administrations. So we launched this service last year in November. We had a promotional campaign, and we involved the librarians and the libraries. We found a facilitator, so someone who went there in the libraries, and people could go there and ask for help and learn how to ask for their digital identity, for instance. After a few months, we had a meeting with all the stakeholders of the project. We had given a satisfaction questionnaire to the users, and then we realized that they really needed basis. So we started with digital literacy classes. And the result of these classes was also very good, because they told us that they acquired finally digital skills, and they were quite happy with these. The CEROI Plus, I forgot to tell you that it means social, economic, environmental return on investment. So we tried to understand what were all the benefits of the project. And the first one is a social benefit, which was quite amazing for us. But the libraries became, I could even say, a sort of meeting point where people could meet and learn something. So library attendance increased, book lending increased, and this is always a good thing, I think. And if we look forward, if we have a future approach, then I'm quite sure that we can also have economic and environmental benefits from this project. And that's all what we did.
Okay, thank you very much. Also to stay in time. Okay, thank you. And another voice from USALP, Youth Council, Leila Izart.
Good afternoon. Thank you for having me. My name is Leila Izart, and I represent Switzerland in the USALP Youth Council. In short, for those who may not know, the Youth Council is a group of young people aged between 18 and 29, representing each of the Alpine regions active in USALP. We propose concrete actions and projects to the General Assembly and contribute to USALP priorities and policies, and of course take part in events in amazing locations like this one. The reason why I wanted to participate today is because I am part of the thematic group 1 in the Youth Council, focused on economic development. Last year, during the Italian presidency, we collaborated with AG2 to organize the Ready to Stay event in Milano. Some of you may have attended. For those who had not attended, the goal of the event was to host an open and public debate co-created with young citizens about the state of the art of the different policies and projects implemented by local governments to face the worrying trend of depopulation in the Alpine space, and to explore possible common new solutions at a macro-regional level. The conference aimed to represent an opportunity to design concrete policy orientations to enhance youth leadership and accountability as a driver for competitiveness and as a key factor to struggle the depopulation of the Alpine area. Today, Mathematic Group 2 Mathematic Group 1 states two priorities in our position paper for the year 2023-2024 that I think speak perfectly to our workshop today. First of all, we would like to work on fitting the education system in the Alpine regions to the demands of the Alpine labour market. Secondly, we hope to participate in projects to improve the attractiveness of the Alps for students and young professionals. In the continuity of the successful event in Milano last year, we look forward to more opportunities for collaboration with AGs 1, 2, 3, and 5. We were especially inspired by AG 3's work plan, as well as AG 5's cross-cutting priority about promoting digitalization. I have personally been inspired by the different speakers present today, and hope that today can launch a new season of working together.
Thank you very much. Okay, now from Connected People, Michele Barale. Perfect. Are you?
Okay. Yes, of course.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, our connection is working. So
Yes, we can hear you.
okay, so perfect.
But let's see
I am still not.
Maybe it's a few moments to see you. We can hear you well, but
Okay. I'm sharing the screen, so I think I can start with this maybe. Okay.
okay,
Okay,
perfect.
great.
Perfect. We can
Okay,
see
I'm here.
and
Thank
hear
you.
you.
Super. So I am Michele Barale. Thank you for inviting me. I'm a research fellow at the University of Milan. In the center is Unimont, the University of the Mountain, and we are located in among the mountains in Lombardy region, around northeast in comparison with Milan. The university deals mainly with agricultural and forestry management topics and projects, but also with territorial and mountain land projects with national and international influence. What the project I'm talking about this afternoon is the ARPAF co-working with children and elderly in the Alps. Is a project that is funded by ARPAF funds, Alpine Region Preparatory Action Funds, and is a short project led by the Chamber of Agriculture and Forestry of Slovenia, and has a duration of 1 year and a half. And the project focuses on co-working. Mapping the first aim is mapping all those co-working spaces, but also co-workation and co-work care that are located in the Alpine Arch, in the ESALP area, and mainly in the rural and mountain areas. That's why we created a map with a couple of boundaries, the first with ESALP area and the second with Alpine Convention area, in order to focus better on co-spaces. The aim of the project is to, first of all, reduce commuting in order to let the people to work in the mountains, and also to support families to match together family tasks and working tasks, in special case if they have children or elderly relatives. We built a map, and inside this map we first found all those spaces that are in all those co-working, co-workation and co-work spaces that are in the on the mountains in the Alpine region. And after within a radius of 10 kilometers, we looked for also caregiving institution like childcare or elderly care institution, and environmental education centers that can provide facilities for children or sometimes also for elderly people. This is more or less the project we are working on.
Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. Now, from online, Noem, the chat.
Yes, thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. I will try to share my screen. Okay. So let me know if you see it.
From Andres. Please.
Yeah, is it working?
Yes, yes, we can see and hear you.
So thank you very much. I'm Noémie Lechat, and I'm a project manager for the ADRE Association. And today, regarding the workshop, I wanted to have a focus on professional learning and how can access to learning be facilitated in rural mountain areas. Just before, I wanted to have a quick word on our association. Our association was founded more than 20 years ago with the aim of supporting local and regional stakeholders in the development of accessibility of their services of general interest. So a few years ago, we shared a common analysis that it was very difficult for people to access professional training in remote areas with problems that you all know, such as mobility or a lack of public transport. And many people, especially the young ones, were forced to leave the areas to study elsewhere. So regarding the necessity of keeping the population in the area and develop its attractiveness, we developed a project called Lieux Apprenants et FOAD, so in English, co-learning places and digital learning. And the project was to develop e-learning in existing facilities such as France Service. In France, we have those places where we can realize our administrative formalities. And also in connected campus, it's remote campus from big universities. This project was supported by the Région Sud de Provence-Alpes-Côte d'Azur, and it was during 2 years and also during COVID. So it put the topic of e-learning and remote learning at the agenda. So very shortly, the key actions of the project were through the creation of three co-learning spaces in 3 test areas, very rural areas, and with the service design approach. So we wanted to create an environment in those existing facilities to access learning and for the people to be able to follow e-learning classes in good conditions. We also work on helping trainers to change their approach, because we know that e-learning and teaching classes in presence and remotely is not the same job, and we need to support those trainers in this change. We also worked on supporting the e-learners, because as someone said it before, it's very difficult to use digital tools, and a lot of people are concerned with the problem of illiteracy. I think in France is 13 million struggling with digital illiteracy. So we also had a focus on this topic. And we also created a multidisciplinary community with trainers, public authorities, learners, in order to develop some tools. You can see them on the left. And it was very prolific to have all those professionals and also learners around the table. And on the right side, you can see one of the places and the transformation we did. And I will speak about what we learned with this project a bit later.
Okay, thank you very much. We saw and heard about different initiatives involving high school students, university researchers, communities, through a library, through new place of learning, training programs everywhere. Really interesting. And assuming that more skills is better, more learning is better, but now is more challenging questions. What changes are you developing and measuring, maybe? Or what are the desirable scenarios, specific scenarios, are you working for? So the second round about the changes you causing or promoting, not only general improving, but changes and or desirable scenarios. Angelo Benozzo.
Thank you. Can we go back to the slides that my colleague presented? Okay, so I can change. Okay, I'm going to speak about this project, which is called Alp Satellites, and it is a small-scale project designed to investigate how to manage the transition. So we are speaking about changes, how to manage the transition to hybrid form of work in the Alps. 3 mountain areas are involved, the Unité de Communes Val d'Autun et Vincennes, the Pays du Grand Briançonnais, Queyras in France, and the municipality of Doren in Austria. Together with these 3 areas, there are also 3 universities, of course, Aosta Valley University, which is the leader of the project, and then also there is Aix-Marseille University and the University of Applied Science in Vorarlberg. The project is divided in 4 actions. The first is an action where we organize some focus groups with students, stakeholders, entrepreneurs in each local area. The second activity is participatory quantitative and qualitative research realized in some different ways, but carried out in each area, where we analyzed the need for remote working and co-working spaces for local community, for companies, for workers, and so we collected quantitative and qualitative data. And so the activity 1 and the activity 2 are finished, and the activity 3 that you will see and the activity 4 you are seeing here, activity 4 are still ongoing. So now I'm going to present very briefly a few results from the quantitative and qualitative research and from Action 1. So you will see here we try to answer to this question: what do this area needs in order to embrace remote work, to change, to improve, to manage the transition to remote work in the Alps. So you will see there are different solutions proposed by the stakeholder, by the work that we did. And now I want to highlight for what are the most important. Of course, there is this idea of improving connectivity, and we saw before that connectivity is an enabling factor. There is the need of new co-working spaces. The co-working spaces are already present in the area in France, but they are not present in Doren or in Vincennes. What is important to build, for example, is a platform or an application. This is one interesting idea proposed by the Austrian team to create an application that provides information on visas, work permits, on solution for accommodation and co-working places to identify the local contact person available to respond to remote workers' questions. And one of the needs that emerge from this survey and from the focus group that we organize, and in my opinion is really something that can drive and can steer the change in the Alps, is to foster an organizational culture that encourages management by objectives. So the needs is also for management education to support the idea that what is important is to complete the task for the worker, and that the methods, the spaces, the times to get the result can be decided by individual worker. It is a culture that value the reward worker and reward worker skills, but not in an individualistic way. This is precisely the risk of remote work, which is isolation, individualism. And so how we can manage this transition to use remote work and to contrast, to combat isolation, one solution could be construct, building new co-working spaces. And for example, in the area of Evanson, the action for the feasibility study is a study on how to construct a co-working space.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Angelo Medalzo. Next, the same question for Claudia Zolla, changes in desirable scenarios. So you're working on and for.
It's a pity we are not in your project. We would have liked that a lot. Well, I think that the first thing we are focusing on is building infrastructure in our territory, because only a small part of it has got optical fiber, and this is an essential requirement for developing further actions. We do like a lot the idea of co-working, and as far as remote working is concerned, because of the geographical the geography of our territory, we really need to be allowed to remote working. We've got a main central valley and then lateral valleys, and if we want people to stay in the mountains, we must give them the opportunity to work from their home. So remote working is really a priority for us.
Okay, thank you. And now from online, Michele Barale, the same question about changes and or desirable scenarios are you working for?
Okay, so I come back to my presentation, and yes, it's interesting because this is a topic that is a topic about spaces from both the contribution I heard up to the moment. To answer both your question and also to contribute, this is the map we already realized. The map is online, and the map currently is. I just counted all those spaces that are in the Hevsel area. So we have around 700 spaces about co-working, co-workation, and co-worker. Okay. And yes, just to make an explanation, co-working is there are spaces not taught as co-working as priority function. They usually have they usually are spaces for accommodation, B&B, hostel, and so on. They also offer spaces for co-working. Then that's why we created this term co-workation, and it's a term quite new that already has a very little literature, but it has. While co-worker is the how can I say, matching of co-working and care spaces, and are spaces for co-working that also provide facilities for caregiving. So if we reduce the map up to, sorry, it doesn't work here. Okay, if we reduce the map to the Alpine Convention area, see that we can find around 300 spaces, reduced to the half. Each dot is a space, of course. What is interesting is that changes are happening. We have quite a, I can say, dense geography. There are still free spaces, mainly due to mountain areas, real mountain without living spaces. What is also interesting is the density of is different between each geography and among the 7 states of the ESAP area. And another topic, but it is there is a space for other research in the future, is linked to those initiatives that are private or bottom up. For instance, we also mapped some how can I say, prototype organized by municipalities that are organizing co-working spaces in not so used or not so spaces of the buildings. And this is we have mapped several experiences in the area. Finally, our map is already online. Each space you saw before on the map as a proper card, and on the card you can find the website and contact, mail or phone. And you can, of course, look inside the map to contact the spaces. On our map, on our website, we're also running a survey that it is about to be concluded in a couple of weeks. So we are still not able to present any data. But we are mapping, we are serving the interest in matching together facilities for caregiving and co-working space.
Okay, thank you, Michele Berale. Next question, the same question for Noémie Lechat.
Yes, I will share my screen one more time. Is it working?
Not yet. Yes.
Yes, great. So regarding our project and the perspective, what we learned with this project was that co-learning places were relevant, but we need to clearly identify, for the learners, but also for local stakeholders, what co-learning places are, and because as every new services, we need to work on the publicity and clearly explain what those co-learning places offers. And also in existing facilities, it can be very confusing if the publicity not very well done is. And we also noticed that it was very important with e-learning to place learners in the center of their pathway and to adapt the process to their reality, because some are dealing with a problem of mobility or digital illiteracy, or it's complicated to have a childcare, and it can create some difficulties for the learners to follow the program in good conditions. We also noticed, even with the pandemic, that the distance learning opportunities were not so developed. In France, I don't know for other countries, but in France, we still need to work on the development of new e-learning programs and to make them visible. Because it's not the case for now. And also to create those new places or to transform existing facilities, it's very important to provide resources for small municipalities or small communities to run those co-learning places, and to entertain the community of learners with some like an animator or something, because otherwise it can be very, the learners can feel a bit lonely in the pathway. And just to finish, I wanted all those perspectives are available in the recommendation handbook we created. Unfortunately, it's only written in French. And we also have a platform with the description of the project and some resources, but also in French. But if you are interested, don't hesitate to contact us, and we will be delighted to explain you a bit more about this project.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Noémie Lechat. Now, just last round about priorities. But let me use a question from solution focus approach. About priorities, let's imagine to have enough power, money, human resources, okay, whatever is it needed, enough power, money, and resources. What would you do about what you consider priority? We saw different ongoing process. We saw different pathways. Okay, we saw the trajectories. But about priorities in the next months, in the next year, what will you do? And yes, please.
It has been mentioned many times this afternoon, but I have to stress it again: connectivity, connectivity, connectivity.
Okay.
And it's amazing how in this different interesting contribution, there are so many connections. I'm envious. You wanted to be in our project. I'm envious of yours, because the digital gap is so important, and it's amazing. It's not only for the elderly. Yeah, the digital gap is for them to interact with the digital administration, the public administration in a digital way. Now we have to do everywhere. It's difficult, but still important. The youth. So this idea of community of learner has been stressed also by our Austrian partner, particularly in a very rural area. They cannot be in touch with the class. They are remote distance online learner, and they wanted to be in touch. So connectivity, and fill the digital gap with digital skill. But the answer is communities. Okay. Yeah, community.
And what are you doing the next year about connectivity to improve your organization?
I don't know what to say, but of course we will spread the result of our project, but also at the same time we will see the new university, and perhaps the university will be an answer to new form of connectivity. Okay. The new university in Valle d'Aosta will be open next year. And so it will be a very advanced example of connectivity for the community.
Tangible. Perfect. Thank you.
Yes.
Same question for Claudia Zolla. What would you like to do, or what would you do about your priority the next year?
Yeah, I think that if we had the power, total power, we would be very glad of that, and we would ask to have a well-equipped area. So I join her when you talk about connectivity. This is really essential. And I think that we can stress the regional administration to give us connectivity as soon as possible. We really need it. And then I think we have to promote our territories. If we want to keep mountainous areas alive, we can sort of promote these territories towards people who live in big cities, so that they may join us and maintain our areas alive.
Okay, like becoming ambassador of your territories. like becoming an ambassador of your territories.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we do live in paradise, actually, so we
perfect.
have to promote that.
Okay, thank you very much. Leila, Izard, what will you do about?
I'm going to give a bit of a longer answer, but in my opinion, the topic of digitalization and digital skills in the Alpine context is so inspiring, mostly because of how much potential it has of progress and growth in our regions. Climate change is transforming the landscape and bringing unpredictable weather and snow conditions. Globalization means the Alps are home to an increasingly international visitors and clients. To these rapid changes, if used correctly and responsibly, digitalization and innovation can be the solution of the century. As a 21-year-old member of USOP Youth Council, I will mostly speak about the population of young people of the Alpine area. The Alps have always been synonymous of beauty, tranquility, and cultural richness. However, there are also many challenges facing those who live in such remote places, as we have discussed until now, but especially for young people. How can we ensure that there are not only enough opportunities of success, but that young people also have the tools to get them? Mountains, once seen as isolated, are slowly being connected to the global economy through internet access and digital platforms. In this context, the rapid growth of remote work and digital technologies are an opportunity we cannot miss. Remote working is becoming increasingly appealing for young people around the world to have a stable income and successful career while living in the location of their choice. With more full and partly remote jobs available, youth living in hard-to-reach mountain regions can avoid long transport time and be more flexible in their work schedule. Not only will this encourage Alpine locals to stay, but professionals and creatives seeking serenity and the unique mountain lifestyle in our little paradise can be attracted, bringing fresh ideas and innovation. AG5's ambition to test the digitalization and options for remote working is a great start. However, please do not forget that young people are curious and full of energy. We want to meet new people, we want to explore the world, and we want to see new places. You talked about connectivity, I'm going to add mobility. A realistic and successful remote working strategy has to be paired with a generous and reliable mobility network. I hope you can work as a team with AG4 to ensure that young people are encouraged to stay by enabling them to travel quickly and comfortably and not be cut off completely from city life.
Yes, at the same. But what will do, or you personally, or you as Youth Council member, will do in the next 12 months about that?
We're going to mostly be hoping to work with
Okay.
AGs 3 and 5 and
Okay,
to work on
perfect.
projects.
Okay, thank you. Well, okay, from the same question to Michele Barale.
Okay, so this is quite a challenging question.
What you will do in the next 12 months about your priority?
About connectivity, we were talking about before. I think that this is what can really empower the so-called marginal territories. The topic is that marginal territories is under the urban point of view. We are marginal. But if I had the possibility to give, a project, I'd like to focus mainly on working on co-working, of course. I like to focus on a common space, a common ruling space for all the Alpine Arch. Because we faced by making our research, we noticed that the normative aspects are quite different in the same states. It is a big priority to focus on how rules can to match together caregiving institution, caregiving facilities, and co-working. And another good point is also to support municipalities, local municipalities, to promote, to create spaces like co-working, especially working on not used or abandoned buildings that are quite a lot in the Alpine area and can provide sometimes spaces for local municipalities.
Okay, thank you, Michele Barale. Noémie Lechat.
It's difficult to be the last one and to be original, but I will try to do it. So regarding your question, I think, as it has been said, that we need to have a systematic approach, like to create multidisciplinary communities and to bring people to work together, such as SME or public institution or private organizations such as Citizen. And also with this systemic approach, when we want to develop remote work or e-learning, we also need to think bigger and if we want to maintain population on the area or to bring new people in local area, we need also to think about all the services. And for instance, in France, we have a huge problem with the affordable housing, and also develop public transport, and also think about businesses open all year. So all those other services are also relevant to bring new people in those area. And for your second questions, what I will do for the next 12 months, ADRE is also part of the project Smart Community, and the project wants to bring and create links between different smart communities working on those different smart dimensions. So it will be our parts.
Perfect. Thank you. Thank you for many ideas and also tangible signs of change and project pathways. We saw different challenges of digitalization, of developing skills, new skills for new jobs, not yet existing maybe. So we have just a couple of minutes. If you have questions or curiosity, please.
Good afternoon. Thank you for the presentation. I just have one item I was missing. In fact, was what I would call working hubs. If you look at the valleys in the center, they were talking about the libraries where people meet. In fact, I mean, they started to learn digital skills, but it was all about also about social isolation. What we saw with the COVID, and with the COVID, also some hotels closed. I know in Champoluc, Courmayeur, whatever. We've been talking about craftsmanship. In some cities, you see these centers where you have craftsmanship. You've got people now with digital skills, with design skills, artistic skills, and they can join together in one center. Younger and older ones, they have craftsmanship. Often also old people, for instance, agriculture, textile, and those people working together in one community, which is very stimulating for the whole community. And if you're talking about learning, but what do you do with your learning? Sometimes you have to start doing something concrete with it, and in our society, something profitable, make a job of something and earn money. So it's just a suggestion about working hubs in those rural areas where you not only digital connectivity, but also human connectivity together with digital connectivity, and then connectivity with the rest of the world to sell your propositions. Thank you.
Thank you for the comments. Have you some comments on comments? I think it is, yes, it is promising, mixing for innovation, mixing layers of innovation, mixing technology and people process, social technological process, social technological innovation, not only technological, but mixing at the social level and technological level. Okay, thank you very much. And I thank you all the speakers, and also Mauro Cosotto, if you want to conclude with this agreement. Okay.
I just thank everybody for your attention, and see you soon, maybe in Trentino next time. Bye.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.